How are you?
I'm good.
How was the pit?
No, we're going there tonight. Last night, I went to the best restaurant I've ever been to in Israel.
You keep
It's
on saying
called,
that. Stop.
no, this is called what's it? Sfera. Sphera. It's in Rehovot. First of all, the physical plant of maybe 300-400 people. Massive, magnificent architecture, magnificent food. The highest level gourmet. What a chef. Unbelievable. Not crazy price. I see the shekel is not that strong right now. So the dollar, in New York, it'd be twice the price.
Listen,
But
Ernie, if I were your kids and you were taking me, I'd be very happy also. I'd go with you, man.
right. No, this is wonderful. You got to take a drive from Tel Aviv to what did I say? Safera. No, we're going tonight to this pit master place. I don't know if that's just going to be like a barbecue pit.
Okay.
This is a whole different ballgame.
All I know is I think you should write a book not only on Daka, but maybe you should write
But on the restaurant.
famous restaurants, gastronomic. It's
The
gastronomic.
the
One
best
is
restaurants in the
urologic, one
world.
is gastronomic.
It was raining yesterday.
Yeah,
Not
too.
that bad, drizzle. You just wear a raincoat. That's enough.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, we're on pay. We're on pay. 80. The top, we said that you're not allowed to keep sheep and goats more than 30 days. A butcher who's in business to provide meat for the community, he can buy from the shuk and keep it for 30 days and then shecht it. Lokech v'shohem. He can leave it in his house 30 days. Can't leave the last sheep more than 30 days. Can you raise sheep and goats? Mishnah says you can. Maulashos. In Eretz Yisrael, can you keep the animal to shechter? Mutter. You can't buy that sheep and take it out into the flock and graze. You have to tie it up to the legs of your bed in the house. Keep it in the house. There was a chassid who he was heart sick. They asked the doctors for Amr. He has to every morning suck milk from the goat. Or sheep, a goat, every morning. They bought him a goat. They tied it to the bed. He would drink milk from the goat every morning. His friends came to visit him. They saw the gate tied to the bed. They went home. They were upset. This guy is keeping a goat. He's going to rob people because we learned yesterday that they destroy this grass of their neighbors. And we're going to visit him. They checked. He had no other averis except this aver of keeping the goat longer than 30 days. I know myself that this was the only aver I had. Now, you have to understand what's going on here. The Meiri says, normally, if we assume that this was a illness that was a sakana nefashos for him, So we're allowed to violate every law in the Torah for sakana nefashos. So why is this a problem? Why is it considered a chet? Listen to this. It says the Meiri Mishum Hefset Chavero Yoiser maybe Isra Shel Torah. But doing something that's going to cause damage to your neighbor is worse than violating an Isra Min Torah. Unbelievable. The Maharsha says more simply that it was not a choil sheyesh b'sakana. But you have to take the sheet of the Meiri seriously. Amar Bishma.
Yeah, but Ernie, so they didn't hold the guy had a psychological problem. We know that his psychological problem is also a problem. We call that also a sakana. We learned that out,
He didn't have he has gonech milibo. No, gonech milibo means he had like coronary artery disease. Soyek mipekeeva lev angina. No,
angina.
Couldn't catch his breath. Loya yochi lahashiv rucho.
Oh, okay.
It was a physical
problem. The guy was maybe lovesick. That's why he had.
Yeah, no. Rashi says, "Flidra, soik mevekeeva lev, loya yochel hashiv rucho."
Okay.
So I didn't explain. It wasn't heartsick. First of all, you're absolutely correct. A mental illness is considered by halacha sakana nefashos. If it's somebody's severely depressed, wants to kill himself, you'd be able to violate Shabbos for him. No. Rabbi Shmuel from the Balabatim who lived in the Galil was from the family of Rabbi Gamliel. When they Charvu, why was it destroyed, the Galil? Shein Marian Bechorshin. They would graze their sheep and goats in little forests. V'danin dinei mamanas biyachid. They adjudicated monetary cases, not with a bezdin of 3, but with a bezdin of 1. When the Gemara says they grazed in forests, Rashi says lo yaroin besodas acherim. They didn't graze their sheep in other people's fields. Mishum chorshin leka gesel. In a forest, it's not gesel. Later on, it's going to say megadlin b'chosh. You're allowed to do it there, because b'takanas Yoshua tiken shlo yakpil balayar al kach. One of the 10 takanas of Yoshua, that people who own forests could not be makbid if other Jews would graze their animals there. But even though they didn't violate something, they were punished. Between the forests were private, small fields that belonged to other people, and that was the problem for them. They would have to, from forest to forest, they'd have to go through that little field, and they were punished. Tarabah. Roya Shasa Tshuva. A shepherd who was making averis by grazing sheep in Eretz Yisrael. He wants to do tshuva. We don't make him sell right away. He could go bankrupt. He sells a little bit, until he sold them all. A ger who had converted to Judaism. His father was a goy, and the goy owned dogs and pigs. So he got a Yerusha from his father. So you can't keep him. He can sell it off piece by piece. First made a vow I'm going to buy a house in Eretz Yisrael, or I'm going to marry a woman in Eretz Yisrael. But he didn't set a specific time. Don't force him to buy right away. He has to find the right house or the right woman. There was a woman whose boy was acting up. He couldn't, very bad behaved, and she couldn't control him. The kofts of Nishba Komi, Shiyavo. So she needed a husband to help her manage this kid. So she announced, whoever comes and offers me marriage, any machziras, I'm not going to refuse him. Maybe she was an attractive woman, or she had a lot of money, or whatever. A lot of men jumped in to try to marry her, even though they were not appropriate for her. But she made a shvua. Yeah, but when you made the neder, you wanted a husband that was royal for you, not just anybody. So you can wait. Just like we said, you can't, a behemoth is like a sheep and goat. Chay is a dog or cat. It says you're not allowed to raise a dog or cat in Eretz Yisrael. Rabbi Shmuel Omer Megadlin, Klovim Koifrim, hunting dogs. You can raise. They don't do damage. And Chatulim, cats. Koifim, monkeys. Chuldos and chuldos, like our weasels. Mm-hmm. They kept the house free of pests. So you can keep them. My son Noim, on Rav Yehuda, in Aramaic, Shartza Chartza. Vike di Amri, Charza. Diktini Sakev Rebbe Never Adoni. Their thighs are very thin, and they can travel between the thorns. Why were they called Shartza? The Mitater Sakev. Because its legs are very short. It crawls on the ground, looks like a sheretz that crawls. In Bavel, they accepted on themselves the same restriction as in Eretz Yisrael, not to grow sheep and goats. So Ravada asked Ravuna, what about your sheep? You grow sheep. How come you don't paskin like your Rebbe Rav? Amarle, didon kamintrilahu. My wife Chova goes out and watches the sheep and goats that they don't graze in other people's fields. Amarle, Ravada said, Chova tikberinu no. Chova should bury her sons. Gave her a klala. The kulash national Ravada Barava lo kaim zar Ravuna. While Ravada was alive, Ravuna didn't have any children from his wife Chova because of that klala that he uttered. Ikidi Amri, other people say the dialogue was different. Rav, Asinu atzmenu beBavel k'Eretz Yisrael be'Madaka. We made ourselves in Bavel like Eretz Yisrael for small animals. Nichyasa Rav leBavel. When Rav came from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel, and he made takonos, Rav u'Shmuel Ravasi klinu lebei Shvua ben. So Rav and Shmuel Ravasi went to a Shalom Zocher, Shvua ben Bris Milah, Hashem Shavua LeShiva Yomim, 7 days. Most explain that Shavua ben means a Shalom Zocher, Friday night before the bris. Army law, Lebe Yeshua, Haben, like the Pidyon Haben. Rav, Lo Ayal Kamei Shmuel. Rav had covered for Shmuel, and he didn't want to enter before Shmuel. He waited until Shmuel went in. Shmuel Lo Ayal made the Ravasi. Shmuel had covered for Ravasi, didn't want to go in before Ravasi. They all stayed outside. Ravasi Lo Ayal Kamei Rav. The Rebbe of Ravasi was Rav. So they all stayed outside. I mean, my nitrach. So who's going to be the one who stays outside last? So they agreed, nitrach Shmuel. Shmuel should be the last to enter. They say Rav should go in first, and then Ravasi, and then Shmuel. For more of a nitrach Rav or Ravasi, why not have Rav or Ravasi come in last, and let Shmuel go in first? So Rav was greater than Shmuel. And Shmuel should have gone in first. But Rav, who didn't want to go in before Shmuel, Milsa Ba'almuda Avidlay. It was a special act of kavod, the Shmuel. Not that he was greater than him in Torah. Mishum Da'umaisa de Lataya, there was an event once when Rav cursed Shmuel by mistake. And in order to sort of get it back in Shmuel's good graces, Adre Ravale, he showed Shmuel extra kavod. I guess while they were waiting outside, a cat came and he had bitten off the hand of a child. And Nafak Rav Vidor, Rav immediately went and publicly darshaned, Chatul muter lahorgo. You're allowed to kill a cat. V'asur lakam, you can't keep it in the house. And whoever buys it and kills it, ein bo mishum gezel. There's no gezel, ein bo mishum hashev aveda l'bailim. If you steal it, there's no gezel. If you don't have to return it if you found a lost cat. So kivan damer muter lahorgo. Once he said you can kill it, my name, what's all this other stuff? Of course, you don't keep it if it's mutter to kill it. No, the same, huh? Mutter lahargo is, but maybe isur aleka, maybe to keep it, there's no isur. Kamash balon that there's an isur to keep it. Armi v'kibbut amrit ein bo mishum gezel. Once he said, if you steal it, there's no gezel. So, Maini Yusu, what added halacha do we learn by saying Ein bo mishum hashev aveda l'bailim? That if a person lost it, you don't have to return it. Of course, you don't have to return it. There's no gezel. Amravina la'oimroi. Even the skin, the hide, you don't have to return. So, on this prohibition of Rav, that he said you're not allowed to keep a cat. Meisvei, they asked the kasher, Rishim Elazar Oimer, Megadlin Klovim Koifim. We said before, you're allowed to raise hunting dogs, the chatulim and cats, the koifin monkeys, the chuldasanoim, those weasels. These animals keep the house clean of vermin. Lo kasha, haba uchma. When Rav Shimon matired in the Baraisa that you're allowed to keep a cat, that's a black cat. But Rav, that prohibited bechivra, that's a white cat, that's more dangerous. But the case where they saw the cat with the mouth, with the hand of the child in his mouth, was a black cat. Yeah, that was a black cat, the child of a white cat. So it's has the dinim of a white cat. The Ravina. This whole question was in doubt Ravina, the boy Ravina, Uchma Bar Chivra, a black cat, the son of a white cat, Mao. They were misupik, they were in doubt what the halacha is. Ki kama baile Ravina, the Uchma Bar Chivra Bar Uchma. We're talking about, he was in doubt about a black cat, the son of a white cat, who himself was the son of a black cat. Maisa de Rav was B'uchma Bar Chivra Bar Chivra. The case of Rav was a black cat, the son of a white cat, the son of a white cat. So that would be prohibited. Chabad Beich Bachan Simon. This is the abbreviation of the Rabbanim that we're going to mention in the next Gemaras. Am Ravacha Bar Papa, Mishum Rava Bar Papa, Mishum Ravada Bar Papa. Ravacha, the son of Papa, said in the name of Abba and Ravada. Amri law, some people say, Am Rav Abba Bar Papa, Mishum Rav Chia Bar Papa, Mishum Ravacha Bar Papa. Amri law, Am Rav Abba Bar Papa, Mishum Rav Acha Bar Papa, Mishum Rav Chanina Bar Papa. Masrin ala chichuch. If there's lice that's spreading on Shabbos, you can blow a shofar to warn people. Afilu b'Shabbos. And you fast. The delas haninelas lo b'meira tiftach. A door that closes in front of a person so that he is not going to be successful, will not easily be opened to make him successful. Valokech buys B'Eretz Israel. Somebody who buys a house, play. Somebody who buys a house in Eretz Israel, afilu b'Shabbos. You can write the start that you buy it even on Shabbos because of Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. Meisfei. It says, Ushar Puranas HaMisrael Shosubos Alat Tzibur. Other dangers to the tzibur, Kagon Chikuch, Chagav is locust, Zvuv, an attack of flies, Tzira V'Yitush, wasps, Shluch Choshev Akrabim, snakes and scorpions. Lo ayu masriin el tzoyakin. There's no head to the blow shofar on Shabbos. You can daven. Lo ikasha kan b'shchin lach. If the lice is moist, then you can blow shofar. It's worse. Versus if it's yavesh, then only you daven. Two types of lice. Shomer Rav Yeshua ben Levi, Shchin shevi kedush baruch hu lemitzrim, lach mibachutz v'yavesh mibifnim. Was moist on the outside and dry on the inside. Shnemar, v'hi shchina ba'ubos, poreach, v'adamu v'ayvemah. It was dry on the inside and moist on the outside. Now this comment that they made, Delas aninelas lo b'meira tiftach, a door that closes in front of somebody so that he shouldn't be matzliach is not quickly opened. Mahi. Mazutra Amar smicha. He wasn't given smicha as a rav. Like he was in yeshiva. He was learning the sugya of smicha. And he never took the test, or he never had an opportunity to pass the test or whatever. And and the time went by. It may be a long time until he's zoicha to it. He says it's related to getting smicha. Rav Ashi Amar Kolamarian lo, someone whose mazel goes down, lo b'meira metivin lo. His mazel will not switch to be a better mazel, not quickly. It can switch, but not b'meira. Rav Acha medifti Amar lo olam metivin lo. Rav Acha says that someone whose mazel went down, his mazel will not return ever. But lohi. This is not correct. Rav Acha midifti milsa de nafshe, the Amar. Happened to him that his mazel went down and never reversed. He said it for himself, but it's not a general rule. Now, halukech bais b'Eretz Yisrael, this rule that if you buy a house in Eretz Yisrael, you can write a shtar even on Shabbos. What do you mean b'Shabbos like a taita? Can you do a melacha on Shabbos for this? Alam Rav Hassam, oimer lagoy. No, he can tell a goy to sign on his behalf. It's amir la'akum, which is only rabbanon. So a rabbinic law can be violated. Acharami oimer lagoy. Bava Kama Shamir lagoy shvusi. Right, to tell a goy to do something that you're not allowed to do on Shabbos is rabbinically prohibited. But mishum yushuv Eretz Yisrael l'gazu be'rabbanon. In order to increase yishuv Eretz Yisrael, the rabbanon are not get goyzer. People would buy little towns in Eretz Yisrael. We force the purchaser to make sure that there are roads leading to the town from all four directions. Mishum Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. It's got to be open on all four sides. Okay, we'll stop here. The 10 Tanoim of Yoshua, we'll learn that tomorrow.
Yeah, Ernie, sorry, I'm leaving to Miami tomorrow morning, so Miami, it'll be 12 o'clock at night, so it's a little difficult.
Okay. Well, what's going on in Miami?
Mario will send me the tapes. A lot of
what's going on in Miami?
By the way, Ernie, they translate the behemoth daka are always domesticated animals. Actually, it's not only
sheep and goats.
Yeah, but domesticated that they can keep them in their homes and all this kind of thing.
Yeah. Behemoth refers to animals like you said are domesticated.
Right.
Chaya, like a dog and a cat, are considered chayos. Interesting. Even though they live in the house with us too, but they're not behemoths. They're chayos.
It's amazing with this black cat, white cat. This is
right.
I've seen a lot of this a lot of crazy stuff. Okay. Where are you in Yerushalayim?
Yerushalayim, yeah.
And when